Hey everybody, Deplorable Bobby here. Tonight I'm going to play a little Celtic music in the background along with my little video because soothing music is needed at a time like this. People, I want to tell you a couple of stories tonight. And as you know, this channel is dedicated to our children. And you know, I try to mention our children in every video. And sometimes I do just videos on our children. I don't seem to get a lot of subscribers. I guess people don't really want to hear this. But I get a lot of views. So I'm going to ask you tonight, if you watch my videos, if you like them at all, please subscribe. Help me grow, because the more subscribers I have, the more people I reach, and the more people I reach, the more people are informed about our abused, trafficked, sexually abused, and as I always say, because it's true, our sacrificed children. Well, tonight I'm going to start off with a little story out of California. It's a sad turn of events. A little girl, 9 years old, by the name of Trinity Love Jones. Beautiful name. She was a beautiful little girl. Her body was found in a duffel bag near a popular horse riding trail and hiking trail in Southern California. You know, her body was identified by her natural father. Could you imagine being her father and having to identify the remains of your child in a duffel bag? Well, here's how it goes, people. 28-year-old Tequesta Graham was picked up in Texas at the southern border for an outstanding warrant as she tried to cross into Mexico. At the time she was arrested, the police didn't know that she was under investigation in California for this child's death. She's been extradited back to California, and she's been named in the death of her daughter. There's more to this story. Police investigators say her lifeless body was dumped like trash on March 1st. Emil Hunt was with the mother at the border when she was detained. He was detained but released, and he returned back to California. Well, it wasn't long after he got back to California that he was arrested. And my papers are sticking together, people. Anyway, it goes 38-year-old Emil Hunt, the mother's boyfriend, was also part of the California investigation. And upon his return to California, he was arrested and charged with murder of 9-year-old Trinity Love Jones. He has previous convictions for child abuse and served time in prison. That's the perfect kind of guy you want hanging out with you and your 9-year-old daughter, ain't it? That don't say much for Miss Tequesta Graham, does it? Evidence and details led the investigations to probable cause that both Graham and Hunt were involved in Trinity's death. Details are sketchy, but if these two animals are guilty, I'm going to tell you, people, death is too good for them. But the only problem is the damn brand new governor in California. He's outlawed the death penalty. So all these murderers and rapists child abusers are on death row don't have to face death until they take their last breath naturally. People, we're paying $150,000 a year for every one of these people just to live in a prison, to have 3 squares and a bunk. Come on, people. Anyway, there's more to come on this story. We don't know the details yet. They're coming out still, but the mother has formally been charged with the murder of her child. And then you have news out of New York City. And here's what kills me, people. This is the only thing I could find on the internet about our children that wasn't months old out of New York. And I found it on CBS News. And it's about 2 sentences. It says, a 1-month-old baby boy dies after police respond to 9/11 call about possible child abuse. There's a story here, people. Somebody needs to get involved, investigate it. Let's see what they did. Said it happened on East 137th Street in the Bronx. Said the police found the baby with head trauma. That's the end of the story, people. The baby died because of child abuse, and they said absolutely nothing about that poor baby other than it was dead. How sick is New York going to get before God throws His vengeance on them? I'm telling you, people, they're sick up there. And then you go down to Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. They tell a little bit more about a different story. District attorneys are seeking attempted criminal homicide charges on 30-year-old Michael Fisher. Little baby Adeline was treated in Nashville, where she was medevaced to a trauma center after being beaten. 3-year-old Adeline suffered broken bones and bleeding on the brain. And get this, people, her mother, Brooklyn Tidwell, was charged with aggravated child neglect. That means that she let him do that. I've got another story here, but I'm not going to report on it. Right now, it's all under investigation. I will say this, there is a well-known national football player who is under investigation for child abuse. But he's only under investigation. So I'm not going to call his name, and I'm not going to say what National Football League he is a member of. But I will say there is a prominent member of the National Football League under investigation right now for child abuse. But until we get some definite proof, I am not going to report on it. So people, that's a story to come. Sanford, Florida. A Florida kindergarten teacher and her boyfriend filmed themselves sexually abusing children in her care, which she was there to protect. People, this was all for sexual kicks. 34-year-old Audra Mabel. Federal charges of creating porn and sexually exploiting a child. Her boyfriend, Justin Ritchie, is charged with sexual assault on a child. People, these are people in a daycare center, in a kindergarten, where people are supposed to be taking care of our kids, and instead they are abusing them sexually and assaulting them, and we sit here and we do nothing. We should all be down at the courthouse right now, raising hell in Sanford, Florida. But there's nobody there. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about these kids except for the parents. Maybe. I tell you, I'm getting fed up with it, people. It's about time we took to the streets and we stood up. We can hold a sign just like those damn Democrats can. But ours will say pro-life and stop abusing our children, rather than make pedophilia a non-crime. People, this stuff upsets me to no end, and you know it. But I'm not done. A relative of Richie called the police because he abused one of his relative's daughters. They called the police. That's how this thing was found out. It wasn't because the mothers and the fathers of those children in that kindergarten found out what was going on in the kindergarten. No, it happened to be one of Richie's own family called the police because he was abusing their child as well. People, this is child abuse, pedophilia, any way you look at it, up and down, back and forth, straight up. It doesn't matter. Maybe that's why I don't get subscribers, because I tell the truth. And I'm going to keep telling the truth if I don't get another subscriber for the next 10 years. I'm not looking to make money no how. If I make money, it's going to go to protect these children. I'm on a pension. I don't need the money. I'd love to have some to give these poor kids, to help them. Subscribe, people. Don't let me just sit here and talk out to nothing. People, I have a message. And that message is wake up. You know, police found a video of Mabel abusing another young relative and others in her care, exposing herself to a first-grade classroom in Michigan, which she got fired for. My God, people. Evansville, Indiana. Mark Halderman, probably the worst of all of them, 59 years old. He was arrested and charged with 8 felonies of child abuse. He inflicted child abuse on a child for 22 months. And part of that time, that child and her parents presided in his home. Easy access, people. Charges include 5 counts of child molestation. That's 5 counts of a level 1 felony, people. You can't get no worse than a level 1 felony. A level 1 is the best, the worst, and the top. I guess it's the best if you're a prosecutor and the worst if you're a defendant. He also had 5 counts of child molestation. It's a number 4 felony. Performance in front of a minor with the intent of causing harm. Dissemination of matter and harmful to children. A class 6 felony. As I explained, level 1 is the most severe and level 6 is the most lenient. There shouldn't be a lenient felony, people. The maximum sentence level for this offense is 40 years per charge. I say give the man 200 years and forget about him. Get him off the streets before he harms another child. People talking about pedophiles. Let's talk a little bit about something else. How about the U.S. border? Well, just today, Border Patrol captured 2 convicted pedophiles that crossed into Arizona from Mexico. They were Hondurans. 35-year-old Santos Robles of Honduras was convicted of child molestation in Louisiana in 2011. 46-year-old Antonio Torres is the 2nd time convicted felon and deported in California. 1993 assault with a firearm. 1998 convicted of vicious acts with a minor under the age of 14 years old. People, they say, pardon me for that, they say that these people don't come across the border as illegal aliens that are trying to harm us. Let me tell you something, people. We might have a few in there that are good people that just are stupid and think they can cross over the border with nothing and take. I'm gonna calm down. And take and abuse our social system. We've got criminals, people. We have convicted felons crossing the border, and it has to stop. People, I didn't mean to get as wound up as I did, but this stuff eats me. It tears me up inside. People, stay with me. Let's fight this stuff. Let's defeat this. Trump is doing his best. He's arresting these people. Believe me, they are being arrested. I've made reports on that. I hope there will be more in the future. People, I've said enough tonight. I didn't mean to get wound up. That's the way I am. I'm Deplorable Bobby. This is the way I see it, people. Please subscribe. Help me help the kids. Y'all have a good night.